morning, room 32. So we are back on our YouTube videos, and today we're going to cover lesson 12. All the way in lesson 12, we are covering our learning objective for today is to round two-digit numbers to the nearest 10 on a vertical number line. So we have two-digit numbers. So for example, a two-digit number is 10. Here's 1, 2 digits. So we'll be rounding to the nearest 10 on a vertical number line. So vertical is different than we usually do for a number line. When we do a vertical number line, it doesn't go from left to right. It goes up and down. So instead of it looking like this, we're not making a number line like that today. We're making a vertical number line that goes up and down like that. So that's our learning target for today. You'll need a couple things. You will need your own whiteboard, and you will need your ruler to draw our number lines. So this morning, we're going to round the number 28 to the nearest 10. So at the top, I'm going to write 28. So we remember that we're going to round 28 to the nearest 10. On my whiteboard, I'm going to draw a number line, a vertical number line, from bottom to top. Here's our vertical number line. So remember, when we're rounding today, we're trying to round to the nearest 10. So we're looking at the number 28, and we need to think about which two tens would 28 be in between. So we know that if it's 28, the bottom of our number line would be 20. And the next 10 after 20 would be 30. So that's the top of our number line. So 20 and 30. Here's our number line. If we're going to draw a tick mark to show where 28 would be, how do we know what to do? Well, we're going to use the fluency that we practiced this morning, and our first step is going to be to find what's halfway between 20 and 30. There's a number that's halfway between 20 and 30. Let me give you a second to think about that. What number would be halfway between 20 and 30? If you wrote down 25, you are absolutely correct. 25 is between 20 and 30. That's the halfway tick mark. Now we need to plot the number 28 on our number line. So we need to think, is 28 more than halfway, or is it less than halfway between 20 and 30? Is 28 greater than our halfway mark, or is it less than our halfway mark? We know that 28 is greater than 25. So we're going to put the number 28, we're going to draw a tick mark for it right about here because it's more than 25, but it's less than 30. So we put the number 28 right there. Now we need to think how we're going to round the number 28. And remember, just like our learning target said, we're rounding to the nearest 10 today. So let's look at 28. Is 28 closer to 30? Or is 28 closer to 20 on our number line? What do you think? Let's think about that for a second. You're going to write down in a box right here what number we would round 28 to. Is it closer to 30 or is it closer to 20? If you wrote down 30 in your box, you are absolutely correct. 28 rounded to the nearest 10 would be 30, because on our vertical number line, 28 is far closer to 30 than it is to 20. That's how you round a 2-digit number to the nearest 10 on a number line. Okay? Let's practice that one more time. So I want you to erase your whiteboard. And we're going to round one more number to the nearest 10 on our number line. Let's round the number 36. Taking my marker at the top, I'm going to write 36. I'm going to first think about which two tens is 36 in between. And our hint, we have a 3 in the tens place, so we know on our number line, the bottom of our number line will show 30 because we have our 3 in the tens place for 30. And the next 10 after 30 would be 40. So here's our number line. We have 30 and 40. That's our first step, finding the two tens that it's in between. Our next step is finding the halfway mark. Going to draw a tick mark in the middle. Just like we did on our last number line, we are thinking which number is halfway in between 30 and 40. I'm going to give you a second to write down that number here. Which number on our number line would be right in the middle or halfway between 30 and 40? Okay, if you wrote down the number 35, you are correct. 35 is halfway between 30 and 40. That's our next step. After that, we need to make a tick mark for where the number 36 would fall on our number line. Is the number 36 greater or less than 35? The number 36 is greater than 35. So we put a tick mark above 35 because it's right about there on our number line. Now we have to think back about what our learning target is asking us to do. Well, it's asking us to round to the nearest 10. So even though we have our halfway mark of 35 and 36 is really close to it, this is not to the nearest 10 because it's 35. So we need to think, is 36 closer on our vertical number line? Is it closer to 40? Or is it closer to 30? I'm going to give you a second on your own whiteboard. In your own box, you're going to write which 10 you would round 36 to. Would you round it to 30 or would you round it to 40? I'll give you 10 seconds to write that in your own box right now. If you wrote that 36 rounded to the nearest 10 is 40, you are correct. On our vertical number line, you can see that 36 is closer to 40 than it is to 30. So rounded to the nearest 10, 36 would be rounded to 40. We're going to write that now in unit form. So we have the number 40 right here. 40 in unit form would be 4 tenths. And this is review. We've done this before. We have 4 tenths to show 40. 30 in unit form would be 3 tenths, right? So now we have to look at our number 36, and how would we write that in unit form? 3 tenths. And how many ones do we have? Well, 36, we have 6 ones. 40 in unit form is 4 tens. 30 in unit form is 3 tens. So now we know that 36 in unit form is 3 tens and 6 ones. On your problem sets today, it's going to have you round 2-digit numbers to the nearest 10. And it's going to ask you to do this with some measurements. And when I say measurements, I mean just like we've been reviewing last week. It's going to have you measure in grams, kilograms, meters, or milliliters. So we're going to open our problem sets. I'm going to pull that up for us right now. I'm going to circle some problems that I want you to solve today on your own. You've had 2 practices, so hopefully right now you're ready to go to your problem set. So I'm going to have you get your math journals out right now for Module 2. So here's mine. And I'm opening my math notebook to page 2.C.19. Lesson 13 problem set right at the top. In your problem set right now, I'll zoom so you can see. I'm going to have you circle a couple problems that I want you to complete today. We're not doing all of them. We're only going to do half of them today. So on page 2.C.19, you are going to circle for number 1. You're going to do right now problems A, B, and C. That's all. Circle that now. Now go to the next page. On the other side, and you are going for number 2, you're going to do box 1 and box 2. And that is all for our problem set today. So you've had lots of practice, so by now you should feel confident completing your problem set. You may work with a partner. Right when you complete your problem set today, you will log on to our Lesson 12 HyperDoc. Good luck!